Yes, sure that Putin has failed his first plan to occupy Kiev and as the capital of Ukraine, and after that to appoint somebody like some guys for a new government and to create a Zelensky government, like government in exile. No, it is now it is certainly failed. And all blitzkrieg of Putin to capture some big cities in Ukraine also failed.
Joining us now is Yaroslav Zhelezniak, a Ukrainian MP based in Kiev, but originally from Mariupol, where his family live. Good morning, Yaroslav, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
First, can you tell me what the situation is like in Kiev? We understand the Russians are pausing activities there, perhaps even ending them permanently. Is it still quiet with you?
Actually, in Kiev now it's quiet. There was no missile attack for last 2 days. It was before one of our trade centers has been almost destroyed by one missile attack. But if you are sitting in the center of the Kiev, you could hear some bombing or some fightings like 20 kilometers from Kiev. You know that the Russian soldiers is like go from north from Belarus and try to occupy Kiev, but they was stopped by our army. And now they do like 20 kilometers from Kiev in a nearest town Irpin and Bucha, which almost destroyed by their forces.
How do you interpret this pretty powerful statement from the Russian Defense Ministry on Friday that they're now entering phase 2 of their military operation, as they call it, to concentrate on Donbass and perhaps dig in where they are in the north around Kharkiv and Kiev? Has Putin given up on trying to take the whole of your country, perhaps because he's realised he can't, or is this just a feint and do you think he'll come back later for cities like Kiev?
I think there is a trick. Yes, sure that Putin has failed his first plan to occupy Kiev and as the capital of Ukraine, and after that to appoint somebody like some guys for a new government and to create a Zelensky government, like government in exile. No, it is now it is certainly failed. And all blitzkrieg of Putin to capture some big cities in Ukraine also failed. That's why they're trying to save their face and to create new stories, first of all, for their own citizens of Russia, and that's why they want to concentrate more power in Donbass region. It's my native region, and I'm from Mariupol. So, you know, the situation in my town is terrible, but they still could not control it. So they still not in the center of Mariupol. But at the same time, I'm sure that they try to regroup their forces, and if they will have some possibility to occupy Kiev or Kharkiv, which is on the east of Ukraine, they will try to do it once again. But now we are very strong, and I don't believe that it is there is high probability of success of Putin operation and Putin war efforts in the center of Ukraine or in the east. That's why we see more militaries from Russia in the east of Ukraine and in Donbass. And at the same time, we have a lot of missile attack almost Ukraine. For example, yesterday it was like 50 kilometers from western border of Ukraine, not far away from where Biden made his speech. So we have 2 missile attack on our military bases.
Let's talk a little bit more about Mariupol, the city where you're raised and where you've certainly still have family very recently, I believe. What is it like there now inside Mariupol on the ground?
It's looked like a hell on the earth. So there is, for your understanding, like a month, they have not water, they have not food, they have not electricity, they have not any mobile connection, they have no any medical help or medical supplies. So it is circled by Russian soldiers, and every 2-3 minutes you could hear bombing from or missiles or artillery or from jet bombs. And my sister have left Mariupol like a week ago, and she described it like it's just terrible to see and to hear such things in our century. So it's really a lot of dead bodies on the street. Almost all buildings, like 90% of buildings, has been destroyed. There is a lot of examples when Russian soldiers, especially they take like a target military buildings, for example, this drama center or child hospitals. They knew that there is no militaries inside, so they tried to kill as many civilians as possible. That's why it is very important, and we highlighted one more time that we need no-fly zone in Ukraine, because they just use the sky to destroy military infrastructure and to kill civilians.
I think you have spent some time in that drama theatre that was bombed by the Russians, killing potentially 300 people. As a child, you performed on that stage. What was it like for you to see what the Russians did to that theatre?
It is very harmful for me to see what happening with my native city, and my graduation from the school was in the theater. And of course, it is very hard to see what happening now with the theater. And moreover, I understand that there is a lot of space inside theater where people were. And unfortunately, now we know that 300 and I think even more people which was inside has been died. And it is one more example of terrible war crime of Putin, because I'm sure that everyone has seen these pictures from satellites that near the theater there was big text that there is child inside, and everyone understands that there is no militaries inside the drama theater. It's just shelter from bombing.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that quite graphic description of what's going on in Mariupol then, and we hope you can remain safe where you are in Kiev. Yaroslav Zhelezniak, thanks so much for joining us on TNG.